Hey guys, what's up? I'm Erin and welcome back to the channel. Building wealth on a modest income can feel impossible, but I promise you it's not. The truth is you don't need a six-figure income, you don't need a fancy degree, and you don't need a perfectly timed investment in order to build real and lasting wealth. What you do need is a plan, some patience, and a few smart moves that anyone at any income can make. In this video, we're going to focus on the things that really matter. The habits and the strategies that actually move the needle. Not hype, not shortcuts, just the steps that truly work. Number 1, start early and save regularly. Let me tell you why this is number 1 on the list. Time is your greatest asset when it comes to growing your wealth. Compound growth isn't just math, it's essentially magic. The longer you give your money to grow, the more powerful even the smallest contributions become. Let's imagine a household with an annual income of $60,000, and this is the income we're going to use throughout the course of this entire video. Let's imagine that this household saves just 5% of their income, so $250 a month. And let's say they give their investments a few decades and assume an annual inflation-adjusted rate of return of 8%. Take a look at what happens. After 30 years, you could have nearly $340,000. After 35 years, over $500,000. And after 40 years of investing, nearly $800,000. Now, are these millionaire level numbers? No, but let me let you in on a little bit of a secret. If you have your entire working career where you're working with a modest income, once you get to retirement, you likely only need a modest income. After all, your nest egg only has to support your lifestyle, not anyone else's, so ignore the headlines, focus on your goals. And if you know me and my channel, you probably know what I'm going to say. What about Social Security? If you earned $60,000 consistently throughout the course of your entire career, here's what your Social Security benefit might look like depending on when you claim. If you claim early at 62, you might get around $21,000 a year. At full retirement age, it would be closer to $27,000 per year. And if you delay until the age of 70, your benefit could grow to nearly $34,000 a year. The Social Security is designed to replace a meaningful portion of your income if you were a lower or a modest income earner. And if you pair that with a simple investing habit, well, now you're building a real situation of security. So what if you combine both? If you take the 35-year investing time horizon, your portfolio is worth over $500,000. Using a 5% withdrawal rate gives you about $26,000 a year. Add in Social Security claimed at full retirement age, and now you're close to your full income during your working years. No high salary, no extreme savings needed. And here's something that a lot of people overlook. Let's say you have a spouse. Even if this spouse didn't work outside of the home, they may still very well be entitled to Social Security spousal benefits. And for a deep dive into Social Security spousal benefits, I do have an entire video on the subject. I'll link it above and down below, but let's dive into this example. If they claim spousal benefits at age 62, they could receive around $741 a month just by being married to someone who paid into the system. That's nearly $9,000 a year. And it does add up. So let's bring this all together. If you invested consistently over 35 years, if you claimed Social Security at your full retirement age and your spouse claimed early at the age of 62, your household retirement income could be over $62,000 a year. It's not flashy, it's not headline worthy, but it's solid. And it's a retirement built off patience and discipline and intentional living. Here's the thing, you don't have to be perfect. You don't need $1 million. You just need to have a rock solid plan and give it time to work. Next, let's talk about automation, because here's the truth. You're never going to remember to do it on your own. Life gets busy. Things come up. You may have every single intention of setting something aside for savings and investments every single month, but it's never going to happen if you have to do it on your own. This is where automation comes in. It just takes willpower out of the equation. When you set it and forget it, it's something you never even have to give a second thought to. Your future self keeps getting richer and richer, while your today self doesn't even have to do anything else except that one-time setup. Now let's talk about investment fees, because even though they might seem small, they can quietly erode your returns in a really big way slowly over time. Let's say you're investing $250 a month, and you do that over the course of 40 years. And let's look at two different investing strategies. So you're investing the exact same amount over the exact same time horizon. In the first scenario, you're using an actively managed fund or working with an advisor who charges 1%, not uncommon industry standard. In the other strategy, you're using low-cost index funds, like the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund, has an expense ratio of 0.04%. Now here's where we see things get real. With a 1% fee, over this time horizon, your portfolio grows to just under $600,000. But with the low-cost index fund, you end up with around $770,000. Same investment, same amount, but one fund lets your money grow. The other siphoned off $170,000 in fees. Because here's the truth most people don't talk about. Fees compound over time. They don't just take a little bit. They take a little bit more every single year. So if you want to build real wealth, one of the best choices you can do is to use low-cost investments. You don't have to try to focus on beating the market. All you have to do is focus on keeping more of your money working for you. Now let's talk about one of the biggest wealth-building tools available to you. Tax-advantaged accounts. Let's talk Roth accounts for a second. When you put $250 a month into a Roth account, that is post-tax dollars. That money gets to then grow completely tax-free, and once you reach retirement, 100% of the dollars in a Roth account are yours. You never owe taxes again. That's huge. Here's the twist. Because Roth contributions come straight out of your take-home pay, you're actually saving a little more than what it looks like. You're saving after-tax dollars, which actually gives you a slightly higher savings rate, at least on paper. But if you use a traditional account instead, and you save that same dollar amount, $250 or $3,000 a year, because that money is deducted prior to taxes, you actually end up with a little bit more money in your paycheck today. Let me show you what that looks like on a $60,000 salary, using 2025 tax brackets for someone filing as a head of household. If you choose a Roth IRA, your take-home pay after taxes and after Roth contributions is about $53,000 per year. But with a traditional, your take-home jumps to about $56,000 per year. That's a $3,360 annual difference, or about $280 more per month in your pocket, even though you're saving the exact same amount. And this difference is simply because of tax treatment, but it can be a helpful reminder that if you need to have more breathing room in your budget today, utilizing pre-tax accounts can be beneficial. But keep in mind, if you use a traditional account, eventually taxes do come due when you make withdrawals in retirement. And here's a big takeaway that I always want to remind people of. Whether you use a Roth or a traditional, if you end up in the exact same tax bracket in your working years as you do in your retirement years, the total amount you pay in taxes is exactly the same. The only difference is when you pay them. With a Roth, you pay them now. With a traditional, you pay them later. So don't get stuck with analysis paralysis. The most important thing is that you utilize tax-advantaged accounts. Whether it's a Roth, whether it's a traditional, they are both wonderful options. They allow your money to grow year over year without having to pay taxes on an annual basis. Make your money work harder for you, not for Uncle Sam. Now let's talk about one of the easiest and most overlooked ways to build wealth. The employer match. If your employer offers a retirement match and you're not taking advantage of it, you're literally leaving free money on the table. I know you've heard that part of it, but let's put some numbers to it. Let's say you earn $60,000 a year and that you save 5% of your income. That's $250 a month or $3,000 a year. Now let's say your employer matches just 3%. That's an extra $1,800 a year added to your retirement accounts, no extra work required. Now what happens with both of these getting invested? Your contribution and your employer's match, you give it a few decades to grow and you capture an 8% rate of return. After 30 years, you have nearly $550,000. After 35 years, years, over $800,000. After 40 years, over $1.2 million. An employer match makes such a huge difference. Without that employer match, a 40-year investing time horizon with just putting away 5% of your income, your net investments were just under $780,000. With that 3% employer match, you're over $1.2 million. This is not just more money. This is something that could allow you to retire years earlier than you otherwise could have. It can allow you to retire with more security than you ever imagined. An employer match is one of those rare times where someone else is paying for you to have a better financial future. So if your company offers an employer match, make sure you grab it, make sure you max it out, because an employer match is one of the most powerful wealth building tools. Let's talk about smart homeownership, because owning a modest, well-chosen home can be one of the most effective ways to build wealth over time. Here's a staggering fact. As of 2024, the median net worth of U.S. homeowners is around $400,000, while for renters, it's just about $10,400. That's nearly a 40-fold difference. Why such a gap? Well, it comes down to equity. With every payment you make, you increase your ownership stake in your home. Over time, property values do tend to increase and your mortgage balance decreases. This increases your home equity. It's like a built-in savings plan. Meanwhile, renters are often at the mercy of rising rents. In fact, in 2022, nearly half of all renters were spending more than 30% of their income on rent, leaving very little room to save or invest. Owning a home with a fixed mortgage shields you from increasing rent costs. It gives you the opportunity to have a consistent payment and grow your wealth as equity increases. Now, I'm not saying that homeownership is right for everyone, but if you are planning on sticking in an area for the long term and you can find a home that is affordable to you based on your income, this can be a powerful step towards long-term financial security. Remember, it is not about buying the biggest, nicest home on the block. It is about making a smart and stable choice that fits within your lifestyle and your budget. Here's a surprising truth. Married couples tend to accumulate significantly more wealth than singles. According to the latest data, married couples without children under the age of 55 have a median net worth of approximately $400,000. In contrast, single individuals under the age of 55 without children have a median net worth of about $21,000. That's nearly a 20-fold difference. Why is the gap so big? Well, it comes down to shared expenses, dual incomes, and shared financial goals. Splitting costs like housing, utilities, and groceries means more money can go towards saving and investments. Having a partner can provide a powerful safety net during the tough times and can make it easier to take financial risks. So if you're in a situation with someone who is financially compatible and you guys can work together well, that can be a really powerful strategy towards building wealth over time. But the key here is to be financially compatible. Live within your means and avoid lifestyle inflation. As your income increases, it can be so tempting to increase your car, your home, your vacations. But here's the thing. Real wealth is built when, as your income increases, your lifestyle does not increase same lockstep. If you're avoiding lifestyle inflation, this means you're also finding a way to invest more and save more and get to financial freedom faster as your income increases. And as your income increases, it's okay to spend a little bit more, but you also want to make sure that you're saving and investing more. So do both, and you kind of check both boxes. It's okay to enjoy your income increase as it happens. Just make sure you're also investing more, because at the end of the day, it's not how much you make, it's about how much you keep. Always continue to educate yourself financially, because financial literacy is a superpower. When you understand how money works, you make better decisions, you avoid bigger mistakes, you spot opportunities that others miss. Learning about investing, budgeting, and taxing, it all stacks. Every new piece of knowledge multiplies the impact of the habits you're already building, because the more you know, the better your money can grow. And yes, cutting expenses matters, but growing your income, that's where things can really take off. Maybe that's seeking out a new position, getting a raise, taking on a side hustle or gig work. Every extra dollar you add to your income, it gives you more opportunities to save and invest. And at the end of the day, there's only so many cuts you can make to your expenses, but there's no ceiling on what your income can grow to. So learn how to manage your income and learn how to grow it over time. It's one of the most powerful tools you have. Here's what I hope you take from this. Wealth isn't about luck or income. It's about intention. If you start early, stay consistent, and make smart, simple choices, you can absolutely build a future that feels free. Whether your goal is retiring early, just sleeping better at night, or just reaching financial independence, whatever that means to you, it's entirely possible as long as you follow a plan. And remember, it has to be your version of financial freedom, not anyone else's. So do you think it's possible to build wealth on a lower income? Share your thoughts in the comments down below. I post new videos every single week. If you got anything at all out of this one, please give it a like. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, or if you know someone who might get something out of this type of content, please consider sharing. I'll see you soon. Bye. A fixed monthly payment shields you from rising. I have a chair over here that I was balancing a stool on and my computer, and it all fell off. Jeez, computer's good. Does it seem like a good plan? No, but that's the only place I have to put it. Good shields you. I can't even. I'm so distracted from that. Okay, let's power through this. We got this. With fixed... I'm giving up. Let's do half a video today.